Did she even try to attempt it?
No.
Oh, I got it.
It is.
Oh, where's your pass, sir? Oh, okay. Okay. We are good to go. Okay, bell ringer for today. Just made it right on time, Chase. Look at that. Describe what a literacy test was used for in many parts of the South after the Civil War and up until the 1960s. Okay, so Friday we have Colin and Chase for current events. Don't forget, current too, current events. Current says it in the name. Do you know what current means? Okay, all right, good, good. Oh, them Steelers yesterday. You get to watch the game. That was pretty good, huh? Did anybody stay up to watch the Broncos game last night? Jakari, did you? I was gonna say you would have been really tired then. You would have been really tired.
No, I don't like any.
Oh, okay, okay.
Steelers game was just going to be a waste of time.
Waste of time.
Saquon Barkley plays well.
You had a pretty cool hurdle yesterday.
It's like me back in my prime.
Yeah, right.
You knock now.
Oh, I'm laughing now.
Yeah.
When will I stop laughing?
That's like me and Gavin Garcia.
Oh, yeah?
I think the help comes from you. Can you just talk out? It's not going to happen.
What's up?
Gavin Garcia.
Oh,
It's just not going to happen.
yeah.
I can take him.
I don't know, man.
Me.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
You
believe
in
in
my corner?
Yep,
Right.
yep. I'll be like Mick.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's go over this real quick. Describe what a literacy test was used for in many parts of the South after the Civil War and up until the 1960s. All right. So what is a literacy test? I had an example of it yesterday. We'll talk about that here soon. What is it? Andrew?
It's a test that they use to see if African Americans are enough.
All right, yeah. So in the South, with the Jim Crow laws, to try to make sure that African Americans weren't trying to, I don't want to say skew politics, but because they had really no opportunity for an education, many of the southern states thought, well, we need to push out this literacy test. We'll just label at the top that, this is for a fifth grade education. And if they can't pass this, then they can't vote. And when people view the instructions for it, they're just like, you know what, that makes sense, right? We should be able to read and write before we should vote. Okay, that just totally makes sense. But what was the literacy test? What was it? Was it even feasible to get done? Was it even possible to finish and complete? Angel? bunch of nonsense. Yeah, that's kind of what I.
Why waste that amount of time knowing that you're still able to vote, like not back then, but like current now?
Yeah.
You know how okay, you know how to vote. What's the point of taking it? It's kind of like a huge waste of time, and it makes you look like a complete fool.
Makes you look like a fool, right? Yeah. Yeah. What else, Colin? What do you think of the literacy test?
It's pretty difficult.
It was very difficult, right? It was to the point where there's really no solution to some of these questions that they're asking. Okay. And that was reality for many people, especially minority groups, okay, African Americans in the South. If they wanted to vote, they had to pass this literacy test. And we all know what these southern states were trying to do. They were trying to make sure that these people didn't have a voice, that they didn't have a say in government. Okay, this was pretty much aimed to try to prevent African Americans from voting. And if people can't vote, do you think they fit in society? Do you think they fit in the community? No. And let's say for some reason, which really never happened, an African American or a minority group, a member from a minority group passes this literacy test. What happens then? Okay, yeah, like a mob, right? A lynch mob, right? An angry mob, a mafia, yeah, a gangster sitting there now. A lynch mob, okay, with pitchforks and burning stakes. They're just like, yeah, beat it, man. You can't come here. You can't vote, right? You're not allowed in our society. And this kind of pushed for the Great Migration, right? Industrialization was occurring in the north in these major cities, and African Americans moved north to try to gain a better opportunity. Do you think the lynch mobs follow them, though? The mafia. The mafia. Do you think the lynch mobs follow them? Colin?
Yes.
Yeah. It was really never ending for these African Americans. It's not funny. It's not funny. So yeah, it was to a point where a lot of these African Americans were dealt with in a hard way. Okay, these literacy tests were really just the first step of it. Okay, lynch mobs were actually the worst part of it, where many African Americans were beaten in town centers. Okay, in the streets. They're even killed in many locations and parts, not only in the South but in the North. Okay, hung in front of community centers. It was a very difficult time. And what formation, what group was formed to try to end some of these lynch mobs? Jakari?
NAACP.
You got it. Good job. And who's the founding member?
WEB.
Yeah, Jakari. Good job. Good job. So the NAACP was a group, an organization that was formed to try to end these lynch mobs, right? And to prevent these try to gain more opportunities for African Americans and try to stop lynch mobs from happening all across the United States. All right, good job. So literacy test, let's go over that real quick. Let's just try to do question 1 and 2, and then we'll move on. Obviously, a lot of these questions, they really don't make any sense, and there's really no answer to them. So I just wanted to show you exactly what it was and how, that was just one modification of it. There's many other different types of them, but this was just one that I found. All right, so let's pull this up. Let's go over it real quick. Angel, do you have a question or something?
No, you answered my question.
Oh, okay. He's good. He's real good. All righty, let's pull this up. All right, number 1. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. Does anybody think they have this one? Okay, you put a circle around it. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence.
Keep a line around number 1.
Is that what you do, like a square or a circle?
I left it blank.
Continuous line.
Continuous line, right? Well, there's intersection points right. Oh, no, it doesn't really intersect. It is a continuous line. You're right. I guess you could do a square, right? Yeah, you can. You can.
Therefore, I just left it blank.
You left it blank.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Actually, that might be the right answer. But do you think they'll give it to you? No, probably not. All right, 2. Draw a line under the last word in this line. Draw a line under the last word in. Is that right?
Yes.
You put it under the?
You could. If you read it that way.
Draw a line under the last word in this line. Okay, I see where you're getting at there. I don't know. That's tough. I see where you're coming from. That's pretty good. I like what you're thinking there. All right, we'll do one more here. Cross out the longest word in this line. Cross out the longest word in this line. Longest?
Or longest word in this line.
I would say longest, but I don't know. Colin, what do you think?
Longest.
Jakari?
Or maybe cross out. Cross
I know,
out.
that's what I said.
Cross out the again?
No, I said these remind me of the tests that teachers used to give us in like middle school and elementary school to see if you actually read the instructions. The way
Ah.
you just go to the name.
Yeah, tricky stuff, huh?
Number 5.
Number 5. All right, let's do number 5 yet, and we'll be done here. Circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line.
Yeah.
Circle the first letter. So I guess it would be A in alphabet, right? Because I don't see an A before that at all. All right. What do you guys think? You think you could pass this?
No.
Yeah.
No, my brain was not.
Yeah, I don't think I got to number 3, and even number 1. I'm like, I have no idea. So as you can see, these literacy tests, they were designed to make sure that no one could ever pass this and to try to prevent minority groups from voting and really try to push them out of society. Okay. And what was that term called as a vocab term? That was, we'll talk about this next chapter a lot, but this was to try to form immigrant groups and minority groups to American society. What was that term called? Do you remember? Chris? Americanization. Yep, good job. Americanization. So over time, with customs, culture, language, okay, even parts in some areas, religion, Americanization was used to try to push these people towards our societal goals or our culture and society. All right. Good job. Is there any questions on that, guys? Again, some BS if you ask me if I was taking one of these things. I would never want to do that. All right. Okay, I want to go over some notes today, not too many, and then I'll get you working on a political cartoon. We're going to talk about my favorite president today, my favorite one, not Taft, not the one that got stuck in the bathtub. Obama. Well, this is 1900s here, so I don't know. This is way before his time here. No, Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. All right, so leadership in 1900. After this PowerPoint, guys, we're going to shift towards, it's called Presidents of the Early 1900s, okay? And we're going to talk about there's only 4 presidents I want to discuss and go over. And they're progressive presidents. What does that mean to be a progressive president? What do you think, Rooster? A progressive president. Yeah, right. Okay, they're trying to push laws and help benefit the people in society, the middle class, lower class. They want to try to create equal opportunities for these people. Are they going to just hand out different types of welfare and social reforms to these people? You think they're just going to hand these things out? No, they're just going to say, you know what, we're going to try to create a level playing field. And we're not just giving handouts to people. We're trying to create a process where people can make something out of themselves, but still achieving the equal opportunity that everybody desires and needs, like education, like rights to the workplace, okay, like a better pay and retirement and time off if they need so. All right, so next chapter, we're going to get into the Spanish-American War. So it backtracks a little bit, but it makes sense when we're building up to World War I, okay? So I want to talk about the Progressive Era first because you guys left off with Reconstruction. and the buildup of industrialization in the United States. So this chapter comes first. The next chapter, we're going to go back a little bit to talk about the Spanish-American War and the United States becoming this imperial power. Okay? All right. So with that, that goes hand in hand with World War I, which will be the next chapter after emerging world powers. So that's kind of why I went back a little bit in chapter 2, but it makes sense in the long run. I promise you. Teacher off. Yeah. All right, so Vice President Teddy Roosevelt becomes president in 1901. Okay, he was the youngest president at the time. He'll later be challenged by JFK for the youngest president of all time. Pretty cool stuff. Because he's the youngest. Wow. I don't know about that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he had some inspirational ideas that were challenging many different aspects in the world. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so with Teddy Roosevelt, interesting facts about him. He was an avid outdoorsman. Okay, he wanted to try to preserve America's natural beauty, which we'll talk about when we get to the national parks and how he's trying to preserve these national parks as getaways for people to explore the United States and make sure that industrialization doesn't affect these beautiful places throughout the United States. Okay, he wants to try to set land aside to try to prevent any type of mining or drilling into the ground and destroying America's natural beauty. We'll talk about that here towards the end of this lesson. All right, so Teddy Roosevelt, here we go. You guys ready? All right, we're going to move on here. So we'll talk about this leadership in the PowerPoint afterwards. So, don't focus too much on this just yet. Okay, Teddy Roosevelt, Robin Hood president. Oh, trying to do the countdown. Good. All right. So Teddy Roosevelt, the Robin Hood president. Okay. So he created the square deal. All right. This is most important here with the progressive era. All right. He's also a Nobel Peace Prize winner, which I'll talk about here soon. And I believe he earned the Medal of Honor during the Spanish-American War. So this guy is very, very accoladed. He has a lot of achievements. Okay, a lot of achievements. All right, so the square deal, this was to try to create an equal opportunity for everybody, especially the middle class. Okay, try to give some rights and opportunities to the lower class. All right, so for so long, these industrial giants, remember the industrial giants we talked about? Who was one of them? Who was one of them? Carnegie, yep, okay. Who's another one? Jace? J.P. Morgan, yep, okay, good job. Colin, who's another one? Industrial giant.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ah, you don't remember this one? All Rockefeller right here, right? I'm just kidding. Get it? Get it? Rockefeller? Okay, Rockefeller, all right. So with the Standard Oil, natural gas. Haley, you have one? Oh, he's a muckraker.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, he's a muckraker, not an industrial giant. Yeah, Cornelius Vanderbilt. So those are the four main ones we talked about. All right, so with that, these big business owners, these industrial giants, since they were monopolizing a lot of the industries around in the United States, okay, they really controlled the prices, the wages. Do you think they paid the workers well? No, all right. You remember we talked about this. We discussed this already. And the muckrakers, Jacob Rees, Haley, were the people that were trying to uncover these unjust situations, these unjust policies in the United States. They want to try to solve this. And we don't see this actually turning tide until we get to President Roosevelt, okay? He's finally going to set the table for progressive movements. All right, so he took away from the rich, gave to the poor by different types of regulations. Okay, the Meat Inspection Act, the Pure Food and Drug Administration. We all can thank Teddy Roosevelt for these different types of laws and legislation that was being passed. Okay. He was very influential as a president in order to try to benefit the people, the middle class, try to make sure that people knew what they're eating, knew what they're consuming. All right, he's going to set the minimum wage for people to earn a decent style of living. Okay, he's going to try to make sure that people live in decent homes. Okay, that there's not 13 families packed in a room like this. Okay, he wants to try to give people running water, electricity. He wants to raise the standard of living. And this is how government kind of gets involved in order to try to make society better for the people. Okay, so this is just a quote for his square deal. Like he said, like I was mentioning before, he wasn't trying to give handouts. He's not giving money out to people, right? Don't try to get that. That might be confusing at times. He's not handing money out to people that can't work or don't work, right? He is just simply trying to create a better opportunity for people to have an equal playing field. He relates it to poker, right? He's like, I'm going to deal out the cards. Okay, I don't know what card, what hand you're going to get. I don't know what cards you're going to be dealt with. All right. But at the same time, I'm going to give an opportunity for anybody to make something out of themselves. All right. Like if you're given a crappy hand, it is what it is. All right. That was just something that we couldn't really prevent or stop. But he's just trying to say, I'm dealing out the cards. I don't know what cards you're going to get, but I'm going to make sure that everybody has the equal opportunity to advance in society. And you have the chance to make a name for yourself. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. That's what his square deal is all about, which we'll talk about the 3 C's here soon. All right, so Roosevelt, the trust buster. Roosevelt says no to monopolies. Okay, monopolies. What's a monopoly again? What's a monopoly? What is a monopoly? Rooster, what's a monopoly? Yeah, good job. So bigger business buying up smaller businesses, right? Okay, so you remember how I related to Pizza Hut and pizza shops around here? Okay, this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to eliminate these monopolies from forming. If a monopoly takes control of all the industries and all the production goods and finalized goods, that means they can set the prices to whatever they want. All right, that is eliminating competition. Okay, and with one of his 3 C's, he wants to eliminate cutthroat competition. Right, we need to try to make sure that there's an equal playing field for these smaller businesses. Okay, so I'm going to write up here on the board the 3 C's for the Progressive Era. 3 C's. Oh, 3 C's of square deal. Oh, don't you like scratching noise? Oh. So number 1, with businesses, okay, he wants to eliminate cutthroat competition. All right, eliminate cutthroat competition. He believes that there should be competition in the workplace to make sure that there's prices continue to stay low. But the cutthroat competition, when there's businesses buying out other businesses to a point where there's monopolies forming, he thinks that there should be an equal playing field for smaller businesses, private business. Give these people an opportunity to create a smaller business out of their own workings, okay, like in meat industry or a pizza shop, all right? If there is too much cutthroat competition, this won't give the chance to these smaller businesses. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, with a capitalist economy, there has to be some sort of competition in order to make sure that prices stay low for the consumer. But at the same time, we need to have a little bit, but not cutthroat. We can't just buy up other businesses. We need to make sure that there's opportunity for these smaller businesses to thrive. All right, Trust Buster. All right, so like I was saying before, a trust is pretty much what a monopoly is. The Sherman Antitrust Law was established, which I might ask a question about that, so make sure you remember that. The Sherman Antitrust Law. Okay, this was something that Teddy Roosevelt made sure he was trying to break down these trusts, break down these monopolies, making sure that they don't become too powerful and buy up different smaller businesses. Okay, this was his way of trying to back against or push back against these industrial giants that controlled society for many, many years. Remember, these industrial giants, they paid off politicians, right? They paid off public figures. Okay, so he wants to make sure that they can stay in check, stay in line. This is government's way of making sure that they are towing the line. Okay, so a trust buster. Trust buster. All right, you guys ready? The next C. So the next acts, we already know this. We talked about it. We went over it a lot. The Meat Inspection Act. Thanks to the Jungle, Upton Sinclair, we knew exactly what people were consuming, right? He wrote about some of the atrocities in the meat packing industry, okay? And because of Teddy Roosevelt, he pushed for this Meat Inspection Act, making sure that there's quality food for the people. And that leads to the next one. And with Pure Food and Drug Act, same thing, controls on prescription drugs, making sure that there's a label on the food group or the food items that you're going to be eating, okay? Consumer protection. Consumer protection, that's the second C of the square deal, okay? And then we have the Food and Drug Administration. So we have different types of government officials inspecting restaurants, okay, food industries, making sure that it's healthy for people to eat and consume the items that they're preparing. You got that, Rooster? Okay. Remember, cutthroat competition, or try to eliminate it. Consumer protection. Protect the people, making sure that they're eating and understanding what's inside the prescription drugs that they have, how much they should take of it. Okay. The expiration date on different items, calories, allergies that may be picking up when they're consuming different products. All right. And then the last one here, the last C, conserve the environment, conservation, right? The last
Can you
C.
go back then?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, no problem. You're good. You're good. Last one, conservation. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Promise there's nothing we're here to write, so you're good. So Roosevelt and environment, okay, so the last C of his square deal. Make sure you guys remember these three C's, okay? That's going to be very important. The last one, conservation. He wants to try to conserve the environment, okay? He wants to make sure that we can preserve some of these natural areas in the United States that makes us unique, okay? This is where people all around the world are going to come visit the United States to see these great attractions that the United States have to offer with their natural beauty. Grand Canyon, Yellowstone National Park with the geysers, right? The geysers, okay? A lot of these different areas throughout the United States is beautiful. And with industrialization, okay, with extracting resources from the United States, Midwest and all the way out into the West, even the East Coast, Teddy Roosevelt wanted to make sure that these places are preserved and that we don't try to rid these natural beauties from our country. Does that make sense, guys, with the three C's? You good with that? Okay. And here's a couple pictures. Here's a couple pictures here. So the middle picture, Roosevelt in the middle with the Rough Riders during the Spanish-American War. We'll talk about that next chapter. And here's some beautiful pictures of America's natural beauty that he's trying to conserve. Okay, he believes that, you know what, we need to make sure that we preserve these areas. Okay, everybody can come witness these beautiful places throughout our own country. Sorry, I have one more slide. That's it. Last thing is National Reclamation Act. This goes along with conservation, okay? So government would choose how water was distributed, and we'll get to it next chapter when we get to 1920s up into Great Depression. Hoover Dam, power generation, okay? How we can use these resources in the United States without really destroying it, okay? Without really getting rid of these natural beauties and generate power. How we can try to industrialize areas throughout the southeast of the United States, the Midwest, and moving out into the West Coast. How industrialization can push out into these areas. The way to do that is generating power. How can we try to push industrialization at the same time try to preserve the beauty of our country? All right, and that's all I got for today. That's all I got. So make sure you remember the 3 C's. That will help you with Teddy Roosevelt's square deal. Again, he's not giving free handouts to people. He's just trying to create a level playing field. He's trying to give people opportunities, right, that they never really had before. That's what he believed with his square deal. Government involvement to try to benefit the society. Okay. All right. Any questions, guys, on that? We good? Okay. So I just posted a political cartoon I'd like you to work on. Shouldn't take you long at all. I promise you. I promise you. Is everybody good here? Haley, you good with the slide? Okay. So I just posted on Google Classroom. I can put up the picture for you right now so you can work on it. Does that work? And I'll play some music for you. So this is due tomorrow. Due tomorrow here. Here it is. Teddy Roosevelt political cartoon instructions. Here's the picture. I'll leave it up on the board for you so you don't have to go back and forth constantly from the graphic organizer. You guys see it okay? Oh, there it went away. There you go. There you go.